Lowe's knows that no matter your paint project, saving is at the top of your list. That's why when you shop today, you can buy one, get one free select Valspar and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams one-coat coverage interior paints via rebate. Shop these deals in-store or online today at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Offer valid 8/21 through 9/3.
I'm here on the job site with Dale, who's a framing contractor.
Hey, good morning.
Dale traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for all his business vehicles. We're here where he needs us most.
Yep, they sure are.
We make it easy for him to save on all his insurance needs, all in one place, with coverage that fits his business and bottom line. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down.
It's all right.
We're so far up here.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
Oh, I'm good. So good.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. Get more with Geico.
Welcome, everybody, to 90 Day Fiance Fridays on a Tuesday to talk about the tell-all. What's good, George?
What's up? What's up? I've been out of town, but I'm back. So this is why we're late, because this should have been done a long time ago, but I was traveling yesterday and I had issues like on my way to LA. I'm not going to get into everything, but like on my way to LA, the plane boarded, everything was cool, but then like in the pilot, they start the plane and they do these tests. So apparently the air conditioner didn't work when they started the plane. So they were like, oh, we got to fix it. So they had us on the tarmac and we were sitting in the airplane with no air conditioner for almost 3 hours.
This was on the way there, on the way
on
back.
the way there, yeah. And I was like, this is like a bad omen, right? This is a bad sign. So we eventually 2.5 hours later, they fixed it and we flew to LA with AC. Because at first they thought because they were like, maybe we could fly without AC because, up in the air, it's really cold.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, the higher up said we had to have AC. So it took them like 2.5 hours to fix the AC, and it was a fucking mess. But yeah. So, and then on the way back, no real issues. Like everything was fine, but like on the way there, it was like a lot. So I came home and I was gonna watch the shows, and I literally sat on the couch and turned on the TV, and then the next thing I remember was waking up the next morning because I was so tired.
Like, you don't have to say it like publicly, but unless you don't care. But like, you don't have to say it. But what airline? I'm curious, but you don't have to say it publicly.
The airline it starts with a U.
Okay. True.
And it ends with a D.
Okay.
I think you know. Wait, Iggy from the Patreon says she can't get in the room.
Well, I mean, other people can get in. So
says I need to be signed in with a specific Zoom account. Oh yeah, you have to. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Do you want me to tell her, or do you want to tell her?
Yeah. Tell her she gotta have an account. That's the whole deal, like with Zoom or whatever. Yeah, Sherry, I did want to faint. It was very hot. There were children on the plane, so they were screaming at the top of their lungs. It was a very humbling experience, to say the least. Like, because for a while, people were just like, just let us off the plane. Mm-hmm. And just let us back in the airport. But then I guess they don't like to do that. Like once you get in, they don't like to let you off. So it was like a whole thing. But yeah.
True. We'll like I said, we'll do like, whether we do it tonight or we're definitely going to do like a LA podcast, which will be like a Patreon exclusive.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I want to tell you guys that I can't just say it, publicly. But I can say it on the Patreon. So this trip was an insanity and crazy, and the police were involved. Like, it was a lot, guys. Like, the cops got called. So I definitely want to get into all of the different things that happened while we were in LA. And I think you guys will be thoroughly enthused. And I have a new bestie from the trip too that I want to tell y'all about. And it's going to be very shocking for you guys. It's not going to be something that you would expect at all.
True. Yeah, we may end up talking about your bestie when we talk about the tell-all, but we ain't gonna say who it is.
No, we're not gonna say. You have to listen to the Patreon. That's exclusive for the Patreon. But yeah, we'll probably be talking about this person because they were on Hunt for Love. But yeah. Okay. So the tell-all aired. What was your thoughts? Did you feel like this was a good tell-all? Well, wait, I'm skipping ahead. I wanted to ask you what you thought of Suki-hosted, the new host. Do you like her? What's your impression?
Like, okay, so I mean, So far, I have a great impression based on the first episode of the tell-all of like I'm giving her a lot of credit in terms of like I like the first episode of the tell-all. But I'm holding in my full endorsement until I watch like the second episode of tell-all. Like if part two is as good as part one, then I'll give like the full endorsement. So I'm holding back a little bit, but I am giving her credit. Like I was tweeting last night, I was saying like the way I know some people, like the older generations, they don't, like they don't like all the crude talk, but I like it. So when, Colty was talking all the sex talk and all that shit, I liked it, but I feel like the cast were more comfortable around Suki talking about sex more openly because like Sean
Well,
gets all offended.
Sean, you're right. Sean gets really weird when they talk vulgar. She's
Yeah.
like, okay, all right. Like she tries to shut down the conversation when it
Yeah.
gets vulgar. So yeah, I think that she's a little more open to the crude talk. There was a lot of crude talk tonight because Tim was talking about his broken dick, and we were also talking about Colt's broken dick and all this stuff. Like there
Or
was,
oral.
well, oh yeah, and we found out that Courtney was giving oral to Colt, which that was a vision in my mind that I could have done without. Like I really didn't need that, but unfortunately, I now have that visual that I have to live with now.
And we know that Colt is a eater, a real eater, as they say.
Well, apparently he's an eater more so because I mean he might just be specifically, but I guess because he couldn't Courtney described it as erectile dysfunction. He couldn't perform that, and we've talked about this before because we were like, well, if you're working with something that's not workable, you have to be good at other things. So I wonder if that is why Colt is so good at it, because you have to perfect it, to make up for any shortcomings you might have. So maybe that's why he's like, oh, well, I can't bring a lot to the table, but I can bring this, like I'm definitely going to make sure that you're happy with my performance in this area because I can't really do anything about anything else.
Yeah, like in the last like hour or so, I saw on Instagram that Vanessa, his ex-wife, had posted that he uses Viagra.
Wait, when did she post that? Recently?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
so
I
she's
often,
chiming in. But does this have to do with the leg injury? Because like I don't know if we can judge people that have like a condition that makes them get erectile dysfunction because I don't know if that's fair because there are
Mhm,
people that have like medical conditions or medications that they take
mhm.
that put them in that position, and that doesn't mean that they just can't get it up. They just have certain issues. So I don't know if it's fair to judge him because he broke his leg. Apparently, he broke his leg at the resort, and then I heard that it was operated on wrong, and then they had to break it again when he got to the U.S. for it to heal properly. I don't know if everyone knew that, but that
Right.
is yeah. So it could just be that his leg situation is fucked up, and that's why it doesn't work. But again, we don't
Mhm.
we don't really know.
Okay, well, yeah, I texted you what Vanessa had said, which hold on one second. Um,
Oh yeah, she just recently posted. Yeah, in response to the tell all. So I guess she's. But is that a shot? Is she taking a shot at him?
well, yeah, I think she breaks his balls. Which
Oh, okay. I mean, well, I heard that they weren't really on good terms.
yeah, no, she basically shit talks him when possible.
Oh, okay. Well, ain't no shame. Is there shame? I don't think there's shame in that. I mean, if people take that, if you take it or you don't take it, I don't
Mhm.
think there's shame in that. And if there is, I don't think there should be. Like if do what you got to do to get it done. I look at it like that. Like if you got to do it to get it done, do it. I ain't judging nobody. And I think women, I think that's a really low blow. Like when a woman is like, "Oh, you have erectile dysfunction, or you have to take Viagra." That's like a really low blow. Like that's. I don't think it gets any more below the belt than that.
True. I don't necessarily know why I'm bringing this up because it's not really important, but it's like not even in the top whatever three topics, but like I'll just bring it up anyway. Like so, Veronica popped up, so I feel like they just always inject Veronica when possible. So I just feel like they overdo her on tell-alls. So I personally thought she didn't really need to be there or add anything special.
Well, that was my thought too. And then I remembered wherever there's Tim, there's Veronica.
Mhm.
So I was like, I feel like they're a package deal almost, like you buy one, get one free. So I was like, I feel like, but you're right. Sometimes there is Veronica without Tim. And I think one time he was at a tell-all without Veronica. But typically where you get one, you get the other. Oh, you know what? When they did the single life, Veronica did the single life, and then Tim, and I think Veronica was dating Jamal, and Tim did the single life and he was dating Louisa. It's like whenever they do anything, they have to be together. And I don't know if they demand that, like when one gets a call, they're like, well, Tim's got to do it too, or how that works. But yeah, she didn't bring a lot to the table. But I did notice on Twitter, a lot of people were really happy with the way Veronica handled Jenn. They were like, I like the way she told her off, and she put her in her place. And they said that, she was the only one that really stood up to Jenn, because even Elise would try, but Elise is kind of scary. But they were like, Veronica was like, you're just a bitch and no one likes you and you're a gold digger. Like, she just told her how it was. And a lot of people online were like, well, she wasn't necessary, but I like what she brought to the table.
Yeah, by the way, back to like Suki, I feel, if I can recall correctly, when she first like started talking, we know when the first tell-all started, at the beginning of the tell-all when she started talking, I feel like she kind of set the stage. She's like, I forget her exact words. I didn't really take notes, but she was like, so I'm paraphrasing off the top of my head. But didn't she say something along the lines of like, I want y'all to know, I've been watching the show, I've been taking notes, I've been doing my research. I feel like, so she like had to get that off her chest. Like, I want y'all to know, like, I'm on top of my game, sort of thing.
Well, okay, so here's how I took that. I could be wrong. I
Mhm.
took that as a shot at Sean Robinson,
Yeah.
because she was basically saying, I know you guys are used to a host that doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know, but I'm messy and petty, so she might not have been doing that. But I took that as, she's like, don't worry, this is gonna be a good tell-all. I actually watched the season. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I took it. And no offense, Sean is, she's older and she might not have time to watch hours and hours and hours and hours of footage of a show. But I feel like Suki is like, don't worry, I'm a fan. Just like when she hosts the Sister Wives Tell All, she's a fan of the show.
Mhm.
And she's made that very clear. She's been watching the show since the beginning. She's a fan of the cast members. So she knows what's going on. She doesn't need a stack of cue cards to do a tell all. She could just go off the top of her head if she wanted to. But, for time constraints, they want her to have certain topics for certain amounts of time. But yeah, I thought that she said that just to be like, don't worry, I'm not like Sean. I'm a better host than her. But I could be wrong. I could be a little more petty than her, though.
Yeah, and the one thing I don't know, so in terms of like differences in the tell-all, yeah, obviously Suki was there, but like it was interesting where there were a lot of moments where obviously there must have been like kind of pre-produced segments as far as like what to bring up, because like there's a lot of, like they'll bring up a topic and then Suki would throw to either the video or throw to like the screenshot of a text message. So it seems like the producers did a little bit more lifting this tell-all in terms of having a lot of like shit ready to throw to. So, and I felt like that came across really well for the tell-all in terms of like the
Yeah, I did like that, where they would talk about something and then before she's like, well, I got the clip. Let's just watch the clip and then we can react to it. Like, I like the way she did that. And then I think Tiffany was bringing something up or somebody, and they were like, oh, I never said that. She's like, I got the screenshots. Can we just get the green? And Suki's like, let's get the screenshots. Like, I did like how she has that level of let's get messy.
Mhm.
Like, if you let's expose this person for what they really said. And that kind of worked with Carlo. How did you feel about that, by the way? Carlo kind of got exposed from
Mhm.
3 or 4 different angles tonight or yesterday. Like, apparently, him and Cole were really close and they were cool. And he was talking shit about Cole. And then he was calling Tiffany. Well, we talked about this. He was calling Tiffany. Well, I don't think he called her fat specifically. He talked about how much she weighed. And he was saying that he was the best looking guy that she's ever dated,
Mhm.
whatever, trying to make it seem like that he was above her pay grade, her
Yeah.
level or whatever. So how do you feel about that? Because the funny part for me was he didn't come across as a douchebag. So I was like, it's weird to me that he was such an ass to all of these people, because he
Mhm.
didn't seem that way. Like, if he and I were talking, I probably wouldn't have realized that he secretly hated me,
Mhm.
because I feel like he hates everyone, but he does a pretty good job of pretending to be cool with everyone. And those are the snakes that you really have to watch out for. Because some people are just really good at that. They act like they're your best friend, and then the second you leave, they talk all types of shit.
Yeah, I mean it's funny how like he went from like being an NPC to like kind of being a main player in terms of the drama, and then I wish I was trying to find my own comment, but I had a good comment on Instagram, but I said something along the lines of like, because when they basically called him out he basically kind of froze. He was kind of like a cornered rat, and he's like in shock. He didn't really know how to respond. He didn't really say anything. He's just like frozen. So they definitely nailed him to the wall.
Yeah, because even Colt was like, well, can he respond? Can he react? And you're right. When they called him, well, he was like, I didn't say that. And then Tiffany was like, I have proof. And he's like, well, I don't recall. And I was like, oh, that's a court term. That's a
Mhm.
court term. When you know that it's incriminating for you to say yes or no, you have to say, I don't recall, because you're not denying it. You're not saying you didn't, but you're not saying you did. And
Mhm.
when he said that, I was like, oh, yeah, he did this. Because, I mean, his face and the way that he looked gave it away. He looked like, oh, they got me. Like,
And then, yeah, and then did you see I mean, I took a screenshot and I posted it on like Twitter and in my stories, but so I didn't really check his full profile, but his like last post, he like turned off the comments on it.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. I think that he's getting it. I was on Twitter X. I watched it today, and I was live tweeting, and I was looking through the tweets. He's getting destroyed,
Mm.
and there's no reason to be a dick even to your friends, right? Because I was thinking about it. I was like, I have like really close friends. We talk shit to each other, but not about each other behind our each other's backs. Because I was like, what's the point of you like talking shit about your friends to your friends? Because you don't think that your friends talk. Like if I would talk shit about my best friend to one of our other friends in our circle, she would find out because we all talk. So that's not how it works. When you have friends, you talk shit about other people to each other, not about each other. Because it's if your circle is small like mine, you're gonna get that shit back to you, and you're gonna have to explain why you're talking shit. And I have friendships where we talk shit to each other. Like if we have a problem with each other, we just say it to each other's face.
Yeah. Like, do you want me to read some of the comments from my Instagram about Carla or whatever?
Oh yeah, I want to hear how people are pissed or how they're pissed off at him.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, Elena, I probably should have sent her the link to listen tonight. I forgot. But Elena says, now we know why he's almost 40 and still single. This one says,
Oh,
Carlo thinks he's really good looking. This one says, he's below average looking, not sure why he thinks he should talk like that. This one says, why did Suki let him off the hook? I thought she was going to be different than Sean. She just let him walk. Um,
yeah, she didn't really,
mhm.
make him apologize or explain himself. But I don't think he knew how. I think she saw because Colt was like, "You need to let him talk and respond," and he was just like, "I don't really have any explanation as to why I said any of that." So yeah, I don't think that he would have actually given a real reason why he's an asshole anyway.
Yeah, I think he like froze and he wasn't like emoting at that point. He wasn't really like saying shit. Uh,
If you're a good liar, you should always be able to get yourself out of a lie or something that you did. You could see that he's not good at this. Because people who are fast talkers, they always can say something. And I think unfortunately, he's not a fast talker. He's not a good liar.
well, we saw him though being because remember, like for example, in the not the tell all, but the last episode where like when Tiffany picked like Rocky instead of him, and then he kind of did I don't think he was necessarily planning to pick Elise necessarily, but he did the quick like switcheroo. He's like, oh well, I better pick Elise now because so I feel like he's just always he's like he's always like the cornered rat trying to like figure out the best thing to do when his shit hits the fan for him.
Well, yeah, that's why the real saying is you should always have a plan A, B, and C. I
Mhm.
think it kind of looks like he always has a plan A and he's always scrambling for his plan B. Because you could tell, like you said, he wasn't prepared for Tiffany not to pick him. And
Mhm.
Elise thing was a last minute thing. And we found out that he was talking all types of shit about Elise, which I mean, we kind of knew already because when he told Tiffany he slept with Elise and he was like, oh, well, it was a mistake and she's not the kind of girl you take home to mom. And we knew how he really felt about her.
Mhm.
But I think that, yeah, he doesn't plan things well. And I think that, I don't know, I was just really shocked that he was such a dick. And I think one of those comments resonated with me where they were like, he thinks that he's better looking than he is or he's on a higher level than he is. And that resonated with me because I was like,
Mhm.
I get douchey behavior, but I don't feel like he even looks douchey. So I was really confused by the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want me to read any more? You want me to read some more comments or something?
Yeah, let's read some more comments.
Okay. Let's see. This says, and she worked her. Oh, this is about like, well, this is in response. The post I'm reading though is the screenshots where he's talking shit about Tiffany's weight or whatever. So for context. Anyway, this says, and she worked her ass off losing the weight. She looked amazing then and looks amazing now. She was definitely the most beautiful woman this season. This one says Tiffany's too good for him anyway. Carla's a walking red flag. Tiffany is beautiful inside and out. She deserves so much better. What a dick. Elise gives up her past exploits and was chasing everyone and anyone. Carlo was all that was left. Good luck with that.
Yeah, these are basically all right. They're embodying exactly how I feel. Oh, I forgot to mention, did we like or dislike Tim's fur coat that he arrived in? First of all, he arrived in a fur coat and then he wore like this weird blue, long, oversized, like I don't even know how to explain it. It was like a suit coat, but it looked like it was for I don't know,
You look like a magician, right? Or
a
something.
magician coat or a clown coat. I don't know. I never understand Tim's outfits. I really don't. I never understand them. They're out there, and I respect style and fashion, but Tim's style and fashion is just so out there for me, right? Like I don't know how he can pull any of this off, and I don't know if he does. Honestly, I don't know if he does or not.
I mean, I feel like at this point, well, you know, like Tiffany wears her, what is it called? Like, what's it called when her shoulders exposed, whatever?
Oh, the off the shoulder blouses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
off the shoulder, or whatever.
that's definitely her signature. Her
Yeah,
signature.
so I feel like it's in the same vein, like it's Tim's signature to wear like a
Oh, so
shit.
you're saying he can't really change it now because that's what he does.
That's like what we look forward to. It's like
Right. So
it's like when Nick Cannon is hosting like America's Got Talent. Like Nick Cannon comes out with like you know like a snazzy like alligator shoes and a snazzy suit. So every episode you're like excited to see what Nick Cannon's wearing.
I mean, yeah, I guess you do fall into that hole of I did it, people expect it, now I have to keep doing it.
Mhm.
Like I guess that's true because like if he did start wearing just jeans and t-shirts and dressing normal, that would confuse us even more. So I
Yeah,
guess you're right. He kind of fell into that. Well, I started this, now I have to stick with it and finish it. It's become a part of my persona.
true. All right, now I'm just going through some of my like live tweets from last night. So again, I'm just gonna go through them randomly. So we already talked about this, but I'll say it anyway. This was when like Colt, and sorry if the listeners, if you get grossed out by the sex talk, but this is what this is about. This is when like Courtney says to Colt, yeah, okay, yeah, he went down on me. And then I said, what a shocker that Tubby's a real eater. And then this one, Colt himself says, she sucked me off. And then my tweet said, the cast never talked like this in front of uptight Sean, so that really makes me like Suki better. And then there was the screenshots where Carlo fat shames Tiffany. And then, okay, now let's go to like Tiffany. So when she says she is dating, got back with a different Ronnie 2.0, my tweet was, well, hold on. In the screenshot it says, and your perfect person is Ronald 2. And then my live tweet says, I bet Tiffany was with Ronald 2.0 the entire time. They just took a break so she could film. So I'm not going to say who this reminds me of, but we're friends with another cast member who may be on Single Life pretty soon, and like it's kind of one of those things where they have their like real life partner or boyfriend or whatever you want to call it, but then they'll go film like a singles show. So I feel like this falls under the same for Tiffany. It's like she went to go film this even though she has like this guy at home, basically.
Well, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I did seem like I felt like she was the least bit interested in really pursuing anyone.
Mhm.
Like even when people showed interest in her, she still ignored them and went and drank and hung out with the girls and gossiped. Right?
Yeah.
Like she wasn't really trying to get laid. Like Elise came in there and she was trying to hop on the first dick she saw. Like
Mhm.
Tiffany, you could tell that it wasn't a sense of urgency to find somebody to get married. Like she was just like, I'm here, I'm on an island. I keep calling out, I'm in a resort. I got a
Yeah.
drink. There's an open bar. Like she was more like that. Elise was like, the second she got there, she was like, who's fucking me tonight? Like it was definitely more intense for Elise than it was for Tiffany. So it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know who
Yeah.
this Ronnie person is. So like I was going on her Instagram earlier and I was looking at her followers and
Mhm.
following, trying to find this guy. So if I succeed, I'll let you know.
True.
Because I'm curious. I'm very curious to know who this guy is.
Yeah,
So I can hate on him.
true. Uh,
Because it's not me. So I have to hate on him, right?
yeah. But I wasn't gonna say, like, sorry, I had a brain fart. But Yes. Oh yeah, I remember what I was gonna say. So yeah, like when she was down there, it was like, yeah, it was yeah, she wasn't really like on the real because again, that's like a you're a chick, so it's really up to you if you want to fuck or not, right? So if she wanted to fuck someone the first night, like at least she could have. So really it's like her choice, right? So when she got there, that obviously wasn't her goal. Like, and I feel like her goal was, yeah, to drink, have a good time, almost like a vacation, like to kind of stir up like the gossip, kind of get in people's business and be nosy and chit chat and hang out with the girls. But as far as like chasing down some new dick, I don't think that was at all a priority.
Nah.
Yeah.
So she follows. Okay, so when you go on her following, she follows 4 Ronnies.
Mhm.
I think.
I guess look for one in like Maryland or some shit.
Well, there's one named Ronnie Lowowski. He has 1.7 million followers. He's a chef, but he lives in Florida and he doesn't follow her back.
Mhm.
And then there's another Ronnie's whose page is private, and it's like a picture of him as a kid or his kid, one or the other. And then the only other Ronnie it looks like is Ronnie, but he's a musician. I don't know what band he's in. She has
Mhm.
796,000 followers, but I know she likes rock music. But
Well,
This Ronnie doesn't follow her back though.
okay, so maybe it's a guy with like the private profile or something.
Yeah, it's probably the one with the private profile with the kid's picture.
Yeah.
Whoever that guy is.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I can't get the photo. So we'll have to get Gina on that. Gina's our private detective, our PI, our undercover person. She's the one that can then scour the internet and get the information that we need because I'm curious to know who she's dating because I heard back in the day she was dating somebody that was in the NBA D League.
And the
Like,
D stands for dong. No, I'm kidding.
yeah. Yeah, so I heard that the D League means that they're not in the NBA, but they're really close to being in the
Yeah, like
NBA. It's like,
developmental league or something.
yeah, like they could possibly kind of like if you were in NXT for
Mhm.
wrestling, I think that was like they were gonna be a wrestler at some point. They're just not yet.
Oh, but by the way, Iggy is finally in here.
Oh, Iggy, you made it in. I saw you were having issues getting in the chat. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Also, welcome to Patreon. I know Iggy is a new listener and a new subscriber. I shouldn't say new listener. I should say new subscriber. I don't know if the listener part is true, but I'm
Mhm.
glad you made it in.
No, yeah, she's a hardcore listener because I feel like she knows a lot of her shit. But let's keep going though. Okay, so yeah, that was the Tiffany stuff. So as far as like Jen, she admitted to being like a squirter, and then they kept talking about like give her tacos and squirts, and then
Yeah, what does the taco part mean? Like for the life of me,
I
I don't. I know they're not talking about tacos, like
you did
food.
no. I think they were. I don't think it means like pink taco. I think in this case it was about food, like give her like food to eat, and then
Also, feed her and then make her squirt. Is that what? Oh, so
yeah, like
that's.
diner, and then you could.
Oh, okay, okay. Like what women say is the woman will say, "I'll ride him and then put him to sleep," but he was basically saying, "I give her tacos and then make her squirt."
Yeah,
Okay, I get it. Okay.
and then the joke. I mean, you probably already saw, it, but the joke I made on Twitter was, I mean, anyway, this is obviously a joke. So I said, I guess Speedy Gonzalez has a sister named Squirty. So
Oh, I mean, the squirting thing had been a myth in my life for a long time. So, oh, but I have a question though. Are you surprised that Cole is good enough in bed to make a woman squirt? I don't want to be rude to Cole or whatever, but like, I don't know, because Jen was like, "Oh, Cole's a freak. He's a closet freak," and I was like, I didn't see any of that from Cole. So, were you surprised at any of that?
it's weird. Like it's kind of weird how to like I'm trying to think like if I had to think about it like I don't want to think too much about Cole, but like if I had to think about it from like a mechanically, I would say no. But then the fact that she said he's like a closet freak, like seems like he'll do anything, then in that sense, yes. Like he seems like he'll put like a tongue up Jen's ass, like he'll do anything in that sense.
What? I
See,
didn't see him as that. I saw him as so pretty that he probably wouldn't
no, like
even.
I agree initially, but then when Jen said he's a closet freak, then I believe that because we can remember like we were making jokes where like he's like he gives off like serial killer vibes, so
Yeah.
very like meticulous and shit, right? So the same serial killer like ritualistic kind of guy, he's probably like that in bed in terms of like he's real freaky, like he'll tie you up like a serial killer, he'll like tongue your butt, pardon my French, tongue your butthole, whatever. Like he'll do all that crazy shit because he's like a serial killer in that sense. So I feel like in that sense, from not necessarily from like straight. his like dick game, but just from everything else he does, he probably makes her squirt because he does all the other extra shit.
You might be right. You might be right. I was just like, oh, I didn't see that, you know, from him. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, the fact that he and Jenn were still together, I don't know. She kind of acted like she was gonna dump him on the tell-all towards the end. But the fact that they were still together made me think, well, we know that he's an airline pilot, and I know that he's in the army. So I know money's not an issue for Colt. So I guess money, or not Colt, Cole. So money and good in bed, I guess that's a really good mix. Because women are willing to compromise one or the other. And I guess if he's got both, that's a pretty good deal for any woman.
Yeah, you fly your ass in and out of the country as needed, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, so let's talk about the Tim and Usman drama. So apparently Tim blocked Usman. Did he block him first or did he unfollow him first? I can't remember now. The story got a little confusing. So I guess they used to follow each other. And then I think all of a sudden Tim blocked Usman, and then Usman asked him to unblock him, and then they started following each other again at the resort. And then after the resort was over and everybody went home, Tim unfollowed him again. And then Usman started posting on Instagram that Tim was a fake friend. So it's funny because we found out that Tim does block and unblock people because he did it to Captain. So I guess this is just something that Tim does. Like he'll block you and unblock you. And I'm guilty of this. Well, not blocking people, but like when people are in season, their show is on, like and it's airing in season, I'll follow the entire cast of that season so I can, figure out spoilers and know what they're up to so I can kind of know what's going on. And then when their season ends, like for instance, Libby and Andre, I'll follow Libby and Andre while they're actively on, like airing every week. But when it's over, I don't like them enough to follow them, so I'll unfollow them. So I do that, which I guess that seems a little grimy, but I like to get my insider information.
I feel like if they don't follow you back, then I don't think it's grimy to unfollow them. But if they follow you, you should probably still follow them.
I mean, yeah, you're right. It's rude to unfollow. I have when I follow people, they usually will follow me back. So I don't like Tiger Lily, so I won't follow her because if she follows me back, then I'm required to follow her. Right. So if I don't like the cast member, I'll just regularly check their page. But I'd be missing shit because stories are only there for a day. So like sometimes you'll be reposting stuff and I missed it because I don't check everything every day and I don't follow them. So I don't get to see everything.
True. Yeah. I mean, I don't follow everyone either. I look. It's weird. There's a couple people who like send. It's kind of weird. I don't know, but like there's a couple of people where they sent out of all the cast members that for whatever reason they're obsessed with like Jasmine, so they like screenshot all of Jasmine's content and like send it to me in my DMs, even though I like don't really care about 90% of it, but they like obsessed with it. So that happens. And then real quick, and let me just backtrack a little bit. Sorry to just crowbar this in. Just to reiterate, George and I were trying to tell people Tiffany and Tim are not dating, and finally now after last night's tell-all, people finally believe us.
I don't know why people believe that in the first place. Like that is one of the most unbelievable rumors I've heard all year. Like when you hear something, and every now and then I'll hear something in my DMs. Like somebody DM me recently. I think I mentioned this before that Usman was engaged to some woman in Georgia, and she was getting him a K-1 visa, and I was like, I don't think that's true, but it's intriguing enough for me to look into it. The Tiffany and Tim thing, I wasn't even gonna look into it because I just knew it wasn't true. Right? Like I didn't need to investigate. I didn't need to ask anybody. I didn't need to do anything. I was like, they're not dating. And if you believe they're dating, like you don't know what's going on. Right? Like you really will believe anything you read.
Like the 90-day community is like with the most, no offense, but they're the most gullible community like in television land, I think.
All you need is a picture and a caption, and they believe anything. Like they'll post a picture and then caption it. I've seen it where they're like, it'll be a picture and they'll say the cast member died. And then people would start posting RIP to the cast member. And I was like, this isn't even believable. Did you even click to see? And then you click on the real cast members page and they just posted a story eating breakfast like 20 minutes ago. It's like, but they don't even like look into it. Cause I was like, no, Tim's not dating Tiffany. And even if they wanted to date, they're not each other's type. And if you knew either cast member well enough, you would know that Tiffany has a type.
Mhm.
Douchey, horrible ass, cheating, lying men. That is Tiffany's type. Tim doesn't fit that. I mean, you might be able to call him douchey, but she doesn't fit any of the other criteria that Tiffany looks for in a man.
True. So, like, well, I was going to ask you a Tim question, but it might be better for the next auxiliary podcast if catch my drift.
Maybe. I have a lot to say about Tim. You know, it's funny. We hung out this whole time. So yeah, I have a lot to say about Tim.
Sure, well, maybe I should save it because I was going to ask, like, well, the obvious question. You don't have to answer it for now until we do the next podcast. But the $1 million question is, if you got like if your gaydar went off or not.
Let's save it for the Patreon. I have a lot of thoughts on that. I just have a lot of thoughts on Tim in general, which is crazy because so we got, I'll say this part just on this, but everything else you gotta listen to the Patreon. I got to the airport. We were supposed to land within 30 minutes of each other, but my flight was delayed for 2 hours. So Tim had to wait at the airport for me for 2 hours because my flight was 2 hours late. And then we had to go get the Suburban, and we spent like shit 6 or 7 hours together, like alone, just me and him. So I have like a crazy first impression story of everything. So I can't wait just to tell y'all, because it's funny because when we walked up to each other and we saw each other, it was really funny because he was like, the first thing he said to me was, "I thought you didn't like me." And I was like, "I thought you didn't like me." And then the conversation kept going for hours. So I can't wait to fill y'all in though.
Yeah, I have a million questions already.
I know, and I have a billion answers. Like Gina, if Gina's was here, it's gonna break the internet. What I tell y'all, it's gonna be insane, and I think that a lot of people are gonna be so surprised by the information that I got. Yeah, I think people are gonna really enjoy, the non-camera version of how Tim is in real life. I think people are really gonna enjoy that.
True. Okay. Okay, well, let's do this. I'm gonna like do my outro and then we'll continue talking to figure out what we're gonna do next. So let me just do my outro and end the like tell all podcast. So thank you everybody for listening to 90 Day Fiance Fridays on a Tuesday to talk about the tell all. Oh wait, I fucked up the outro. Thank you for listening to 90 Day Fiance Fridays on a
Well, it's a Tuesday actually, because we're a day late. It's Tuesday.
You're right. And